from the Nationwide News Network. Comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Roby Ann Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, there's been a 73% increase in police fatal shootings since the start of the year.
The latest is the killing of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson. Jamaicans for Justice wants answers on body-worn cameras.
The PNP's Paul Buchanan continues to insist he won West Central St. Andrew despite no evidence to support the claim.
I believe in my heart I won the election and I won it very big. Andrew knew that if Mullines came out, the election was lost.
7 students have died in tragic circumstances in the first month of the new school year.
The Education Ministry is sounding the alarm against bullying following 2 suspected suicides.
In news from the rest of the world, Trump warns drug smugglers he's prepared to blow them to bits.
The U.S. president has also boasted of weaponizing tariffs against other countries.
In headline sports, Jamaica's under-21 Sunshine Girls to face powerhouse England in Netball World Cup.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, there are conflicting stories about the police fatal shooting of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson. The police say he pulled a firearm at them, but the family says no. Indicom's Assistant Commissioner Hamish Campbell will join us. We'll also hear from Jamar's mother and the Mayor of Maypen, Joel Williams.
In Public Opinion at 6:26, we ask, do you have an issue with the size of the cabinet? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the Education Ministry is calling on students and teachers to report cases of bullying in light of the suspected suicide of 2 students. Children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison will join us.
From 7 to 7:30, it's Nature's Remedies with Dr. Denise Daly. Tonight we'll be looking at 5 herbs for skincare.
At 8, it's Prescription for Life with Dr. Andre MacDonald.
And at 9, it's Affairs of the Heart with Rodney Campbell.
We'll have all these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday, September 23, 2025.
The hour is brought to you by the KFC Value Menu. Grab a chicken box, famous bowl, crunch sandwich, or small popcorn chicken with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. 225 people have been killed by the security forces since the start of the year. That's according to the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom. The figure is 95 more than the 130 killed up to September 23 last year. That's a 73% increase in police fatal shootings when compared to the similar period last year. So far, 15 people have been killed in September alone. The shooting death of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon, is the latest to be reported this year. On Monday, the Commission said it was probing the incident. Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Mikel Jackson, says Farquharson's death has raised serious concerns about police conduct and accountability.
This incident for us is reminiscent of the 2024 shooting of Romario Sterling in Bog Walk, St. Catherine. If you recall, in that incident, there was a man who appeared to be kneeling down, and then what sounded like a gunshot was heard, and the imagery was captured on CCTV camera and the footage provided by the family. So it is eerily similar, and I think there are many questions that require urgent answers from the Jamaica Constabulary Force and certainly from Indicom.
Mikel Jackson, the Executive Director of JFJ.
Meanwhile, Ms. Jackson has called on Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake to update the public on the status of the procurement process and planned deployment of body-worn cameras within the force.
JFJ, we take this opportunity to reiterate the call for the mandatory use of body cameras, especially in planned and tactical operations, because we want to ensure that there's transparency and accountability. We also call on the Police Commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, to give the country an update as to the status of the procurement of the body-worn cameras.
In May, the commissioner indicated the process to procure 1,000 body-worn cameras was nearing completion. At the time, Dr. Blake indicated that approximately 670 cameras were in daily use by the police. Ms. Jackson says the deployment of ordinary body-worn cameras would assist in cases such as Parkinson's.
I think when we look at this particular incident, it is very clear that there need not be any specialized body-worn cameras, because the ordinary body-worn cameras that are currently in use would be just fine, because it would give you an idea of what happened before, even if not during, but certainly after an incident, to aid with quicker conclusion of an investigation. So we join the family that these are urgent questions that warrant urgent responses, and it's a timely reminder for all Jamaicans to join in the call for the mandatory use of body-worn cameras.
Michael Jackson, Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice.
To politics now, the PNP caretaker for West Central, St. Andrew, Paul Buchanan, is insisting that he won the seat in the September 3 general election. He made the claim during a recent interview with Shellyanne Curran.
I believe in my heart I won the election, and I won it very big. There are 33,000 voters in that constituency. We have 3 divisions, 8,000 in the civil rights division, smallest. We have 11,000 in Olympic, which is Mr. Holness's strong area. And there is Molynes, which has 13,400, by far the largest. We have never lost it, not since adult suffrage. Andrew knew that if Molynes came out, the election was lost, no matter what he did down at Olympic.
West Central St. Andrew is represented in Parliament by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Holness tallied 7,054 votes to Buchanan's 4,953. That victory has been affirmed by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, and there's no evidence of any impropriety. But according to Buchanan, his canvass was showing clear signs of victory.
Everything on election day, every outturn in terms of people support, new people coming to vote, everything. There was celebration from 7 o'clock, but the results in the boxes and the counting did not reflect that vote in Molynes. It was opposite. In fact, we got a data scientist to do his work and to analyze. And the conclusion drawn is that for us to get the outcome of 2,000, only 2,000 odd votes in Molynes is less than 1 in 1,000.
That's Paul Buchanan. Last Wednesday, he filed an application with the constituted authority seeking to void the results in the constituency. The application cites a number of alleged irregularities and breaches in the conduct of the election. Again, no public evidence has been provided to support the claim. Under the Representation of the People Act, the constituted authority has 2 weeks to decide whether to dismiss Buchanan's application or refer it to the election court for a full hearing.
7 students have tragically lost their lives in the first month of the new school year. The deaths range from suspected suicides and murder to unfortunate accidents. The sudden losses have left families, classmates, and teachers grappling with grief and unanswered questions. It's also reignited calls for more guidance counselors in schools to help students navigate the emotional toll of such tragedies. Shalois Michael reports.
2 of the students died by suspected suicide. 16-year-old Jamar Surgeon, a grade 11 student of Homewood Technical High in Manchester, was found dead in his home over the weekend. Similarly, 13-year-old Twain Skyers of Hopewell High in Hanover was found hanging from the shower. An electrical cord was wrapped around his neck. It's believed both teens were the victims of bullying. On Monday, 3-year-old Tamani Flemings was electrocuted at his home in Nala District, Westmoreland, after reportedly getting entangled with electrical wires. On Sunday, Vijay Popley, an upper 6th form student at Titchfield High in Portland, died in a suspected drowning at a beach in Port Antonio. More than a week ago, the Edwin Allen High School in Clarendon was also plunged into mourning after 15-year-old Tanisha Gale died suddenly after collapsing during a training session. Similarly, 12-year-old Jada Nelson of Bull Savannah Primary in St. Elizabeth was also pronounced dead at hospital after collapsing at the school after morning devotion. In St. Andrew, 18-year-old Queen's School student Jada Pollard was shot and killed at her home last Tuesday. President of the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica, NPTAJ, Stuart Jacobs, says the tragedies are a stark reminder that more guidance counselors are needed in schools.
These schools have left in a tailspin of having to come to grips with the loss of their colleague, fellow student, and of course a child. It lends the fact that guidance counseling is needed post and pre these tragedies, because perhaps some guidance counseling might have prevented the one that has to deal with suicide. How do we deal with a school situation though, where you have up to 1,400 students in a school being serviced by one guidance counselor?
The lack of guidance counselors in schools has been a long-standing issue. Some counselors are spread so thin that a single one is sometimes assigned to multiple schools. Mr. Jacobs is proposing that some teachers learn guidance counseling skills to help address the growing issue. Meanwhile, children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison says the tragedies highlight the need for more intervention services for students.
It hasn't escaped, certainly my observation and that of my office, that the school year this September has been particularly difficult in terms of the instances that have been affecting children. It means that our services have to be consistent and they have to be immersive. And so I know that we have guidance counselors in schools. Not every school has, but certainly there has to be a program of support so that we can see when children are on the brink and need that intervention.
The Office of the Children's Advocate operates a 24-hour child helpline called Safe Spot, which offers free and confidential support to students. It can be accessed via WhatsApp at 876-439-5199. Similar services are also provided through the You Matter chat line at 876-838-4897. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the Education Ministry is calling on students and teachers to report cases of bullying. In a statement today, the ministry says it was deeply saddened by the suspected suicide of 16-year-old Jamar Surgeon. It says the incident reinforces the urgent need to confront bullying and address pressures faced by young Jamaicans. The Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Dr. Kassan Troop, is urging principals to prioritize psychosocial activities in schools. Principals are also being reminded that counseling, psychologists, and psychotherapists can be accessed through the Regional Guidance Unit. Teachers are also urged to be vigilant and respond swiftly to signs of distress. The ministry says parents must maintain open dialogue with their children and seek help if they suspect their child is struggling.
One of St. Anne's most wanted, who was named in the JCF's Wanted Wednesdays campaign, has been charged with murder. He's 41-year-old Dwayne Christie, otherwise called Kojak, a construction worker of Jacks Hill in St. Andrew. Christie turned himself into the police on Sunday in the presence of his attorney. He's charged in connection for the murder of Ronald Gale in Davistown, Cascade in St. Anne. The allegations are that Christie and Gale were at a shop in Davistown on Friday, September 16, 2016, when an argument developed between them. The argument escalated into a fight. It's alleged that Christie left the area but later returned with a gun. He then shot Gale, killing him. Following an interview, Christie was formally charged with murder, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. His court date is being finalized.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is...
It's 15 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
32 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 31 out west in Montego Bay.
From a single hopeful seed to your family's growing need. Yeah. Nothing is out of reach, no matter how small they seem. Access Financial will always support your dreams. 25 years, side by side. 25 years of joy and pride. 25 years is quite a ride at the heart of helping you thrive.
Access Financial Services, 25 years strong.
Continuing the news, the Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, says the municipal corporation will be undertaking a review of its building practices as a flood deterrent measure. The mayor's declaration came following heavy rains last Friday, which caused severe flooding across the corporate area. Mayor Swaby made the announcement during a special sitting of the corporation yesterday.
We acknowledge that the KSAMC, as the local authority, must play its role in the overall cleaning and maintenance of drains and gullies, and will strive to do so in a more timely manner. The KSAMC will be reviewing some of our building practices, especially as it relates to the permeability in development, allowing more waters to be absorbed naturally in the soil. This will also help to reduce the risk of flooding. This effort will promote more sustainable urban growth while protecting our communities and infrastructure.
The torrential rainfall flooded businesses, homes and gullies. Sections of the Burger Gully in East Kingston were eroded, causing dislocation and damage to nearby homes. Mayor Swaby says the corporation's review will assess the construction of buildings in waterways.
As representative, we must play a stronger role in preventing and reporting on safe construction and protecting public infrastructure. But it was shocking to see a building constructed right across a gully. This is not dangerous only to the occupants of the building, but affects the structural integrity of the bridge and the gully itself, which, if compromised, may result in widespread damage to roads and destruction to property. I urge residents to be more responsible in the decisions they make, as the life they save might be their own.
That's Andrew Swaby, the Mayor of Kingston.
Director of Tourism Donovan White is forecasting over 4.5 million tourism visitors, that should be tourists, to the island this year. That's an 8% increase over 2024, along with an expected $4.6 billion in total earnings. Mr. White says the ambitious forecast is backed up by positive information from the country's tourism partners.
In terms of our look forward, we're being very aggressive in our forecast, and we're being aggressive because we have reason to be. All our partners, all our strategic partners have been, as I say, very excited about Jamaica. In 2025, the current year we're in, we are expecting a year-on-year increase of about 8% in terms of total arrivals. Stopover, we anticipate will get to 3.13 million. Cruise will grow to 1.38 million, which is almost 1.4 million, to give us a total arrivals of 4.5 million.
Donovan White, Director of Tourism. The director was addressing the first day of the Jamaica Product Exchange, JPEX 2025, on Monday.
The government of Canada says there has been no change to its travel advisory designation for Jamaica. It issued the clarification in a statement on Tuesday in response to some media reports that suggested there had been a material change to the designation for the country. The Canadian government says last week's updates of the travel advisory website for Jamaica were editorial only and made to improve webpage functionality. Canada has maintained a level 2 alert for its citizens traveling to Jamaica since July last year. Level 2 advisories indicate that Canadians must exercise a high degree of caution when visiting the island. The Canadian government says that advisory remains in place. The government is also commending its Jamaican counterparts for continued efforts in improving public safety, including initiatives to reduce crime and violence.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute will blow you out of existence. That was Donald Trump's chilling warning to those smuggling poisonous drugs from Venezuela into the U.S. The U.S. president issued the warning during his high-stakes speech at the 80th United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, on Tuesday.
Protect our citizens. I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as and you see this, and you see it happening right before your eyes. Let's put it this way. People don't like taking big loads of drugs in boats anymore. There aren't too many boats that are traveling on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very quickly anymore. And we've virtually stopped drugs coming into our country by sea. We call them the water drugs. They kill hundreds of thousands of people. For this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and trafficking networks led by Nicolas Maduro. To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice. Can't let it happen. They're destroying. Each boat that we sink carries drugs that would kill more than 25,000 Americans. We will not let that happen.
U.S. President Donald Trump.
And the U.S. President lauded his wide-ranging tariff regime as he addressed the 80th General Assembly session in New York. Trump boasted about weaponizing tariffs against other countries.
In the United States, we want trade and robust commerce with all nations, everybody. We want to help nations. We're going to help nations, but it must also be fair and reciprocal. The challenge with trade is much the same with climate. The countries that followed the rules, they've been broken by countries that broke the rules. That's why the United States is now applying tariffs to other countries. We've used tariffs as a defense mechanism under the Trump administration, including my first term, where hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs were taken in. But this is how we will ensure that the system works for everyone and is sustainable into the future. We're also using tariffs to defend our sovereignty and security throughout the world, including against nations that have taken advantage of former U.S. administrations for decades.
That's Donald Trump. In his 55-minute speech, Trump also boasted about U.S. prosperity under his watch and condemned the UN apparatus. The U.S. president characterized migration and renewable energy as the biggest threat to the free world. He says some countries are going to hell over their border policies, while calling climate change the greatest con job.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, there's been a 73% increase in police fatal shootings since the start of the year.
The latest is the killing of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson. Jamaicans for Justice wants answers on body-worn cameras.
The PMP's Paul Buchanan continues to claim he won West Central St. Andrew despite no evidence to support the claim.
7 students have died in tragic circumstances in the first month of the new school year.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at revonews.ai and on the Revo News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next. The headlines at 6.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You want to do your thing with your queen or your king?
Or I get a little frisky that make you flex risky.
PrEP, are you extra bucketed?
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV. PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
School is back in session, so let's see if your quiz competition ready. In a right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Who gave us that theorem? That's right, Pythagoras. Which city is home to the United Nations headquarters? That's New York City. And here's another one. Which country invented the Olympic Games over 2,700 years ago? If you said Greece, that's correct. The answer is Greece. If you got them right, you're sharp enough to follow the battle of the year. From September 22 to 26, Jamaica's best journalists face off in the nationwide quiz competition. Live from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. 5 days, 5 rounds. One winner will be crowned Quiz Champion of the Year. The nationwide quiz competition. Knowledge has no borders and class is always in session. The NNN Back to School Quiz is brought to you by New Pack. More than just value. Wellington Dental. Dental care at its best. Best dressed chicken Vienna sausage. Only the best. Trans Jamaican Highway Limited. For your best journey. Kendall Foods. The taste of quality. And Mark Superstore. Quick and fast delivery.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Good afternoon with your sports report. I am Alex Swaby.
And I'm Oreen Buchanan.
We start with track and field as members of Jamaica's track and field team received their heroes' welcome on Monday as they return home from the Tokyo World Championships. Among the well-wishers on hand at Norman Manley International Airport was Minister of Sports Oliver Grange, who led the celebration. The homecoming was especially emotional as it marked the final World Championship appearance for sprint legend Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who capped her illustrious career with a silver medal in the women's 4x100 meters relay in Tokyo. Now 38, Fraser-Pryce ends her World Championship journey with a staggering 17 medals, 10 gold, 6 silver and a bronze, solidifying her legacy as one of the most decorated athletes in the sport's history. Minister Grange paid glowing tribute to the 5-time 100 meters world champion.
There might be no universal agreement on who is the greatest woman sprinter in history, but as far as we are all concerned, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is not only the best woman sprinter Jamaica has produced, but is the best the world has seen. She is the most decorated 100-meter sprinter of all time and holds more individual global sprint titles than any other woman sprinter. At the 2008 Beijing Olympics, she became the first Caribbean woman to win gold in the 100-meter.
An emotional Fraser-Pryce thanked the fans for their unwavering support throughout her career.
This year, even with storms and obstacles, you guys have helped me to find my way through them. I've always been by my side, and I'm grateful for that. And I continue to just celebrate the moment for what it is, because it is such a rich history that we all have. And I know you guys spoke about all the achievements that I have or had on the track, but it's not just about me. It's so many other Jamaican athletes that came before me. And as much as I have created my own legacy, I have partnered with them on their legacies.
Shelley-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Jamaica's under-21 netball team will face their sternest test yet at the Netball Youth World Cup when they go head-to-head with England in their third group match on Wednesday in Gibraltar. Both teams remain undefeated heading into the crucial encounter, setting the stage for a high-stakes clash that could potentially determine group supremacy and influence the knockout stages. The Young Sunshine Girls are riding high after a dominant 61-43 victory over Wales in their second group match, a performance that not only showcased their attacking flair but also tightened the bond within the squad. Captain Roxana McLean believes the team is peaking at the right time and is fully prepared for the challenge that lies ahead.
We're definitely expecting a strong, hard place from them, but we're ready. As a squad, we've been training for a little under a year, but with this short amount of time that we got, we made sure that we made use of every single training session.
Roxana McLean.
I'm Alric Swaby.
I'm Maureen Buchanan. That's your sports.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is
5:30.
From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's Airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
32 degrees Celsius in City Kingston and 31 in Montego Bay.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from the daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. Enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle in Ocherias from $299 per night. Take advantage of this offer today by calling Couples Resorts at 876-632-8200. Conditions apply.
Do it for your best life. Go check your HIV status. So keep your life trending, no pretending. Me I tell yourself it, do it for you, do it for you. Every time you are link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Condom connect and protect your profile. Be your own fan. Do it for your best life. Do it for your best life. Don't put yourself at risk. Condom connect every time. Do it for your best life.
Big news, Jamaica. September 22nd to 27th is the week to shop. The Everything Home Sale is happening at Active Home Center. Enjoy up to 40% off selected furniture, from sofas to beds and dining sets designed to refresh your space. Plus, choose from over 800 tiles with exciting new arrivals. Don't miss store-wide savings on bathrooms, windows, doors, and more. Just 6 days only in Kingston and Montego Bay. Active Home Center, more savings, more choices.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates guaranteed to grow your wealth. Whether you're eyeing short or long-term gains, our fixed deposit account puts you firmly in control of your money. Now is the time to open a CIBC fixed deposit account and start earning more today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for the cover story. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Well, the afternoon to you, Sir Ricardo. Top of the afternoon to our listeners and our viewers on YouTube. I'm Tyrone Reid.
And this afternoon, we are turning our attention to the police fatal shooting of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson that happened in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon. Now, the human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice, it's saying that the shooting raises serious concerns about police conduct and accountability. Farquharson was fatally shot on September 15. Now, it's reported that he was shot and killed after security forces entered his home in the community. According to the police, he was killed after he pulled a firearm at them.
But Farquharson's family, Ricardo, listeners, viewers, are disputing, his family is disputing the police's version of events. They claim it was an extrajudicial killing. A video of the incident has also been circulating on social media, and some of you may have seen that video, and we'll try to show you portions of that video without the audio. It shows Farquharson opening his door and raising his arms in apparent surrender, to the police. JFJ's executive director, Michael Jackson, is raising concerns about reports that following the incident, the police disconnected cameras at the home where Farquharson was fatally shot. And you're seeing scenes from that video now, Ricardo.
The circumstances surrounding his death are certainly under scrutiny, particularly so given the reports that the police may have disconnected cameras during this incident. And I think it raises serious questions about what happened during those moments and the justification for the police officers to interfere with the cameras if the media reports are correct. Again, the questions that citizens must join the family in asking: what were the specific circumstances that led to the use of lethal force against Jamar, especially given his apparent surrender? If the media reports are true that the surveillance cameras were in fact disconnected.
That's Michael Jackson, JFJ's executive director. She's also calling for the police commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, to provide an update on the status of the procurement process for additional body-worn cameras for police personnel. Joining us now to discuss, the Assistant Commissioner of Indicom, Hamish Campbell. We extended an invitation to the police, but they declined so as to allow Indicom to complete their investigation. And after the break, we'll hear from the Mayor of Mapen, Joel Williams, as well as Jamar's mother, Lafian Powell. Mr. Campbell, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Campbell. Welcome to Nationwide 5.
Thank you.
What has Indicom been able to piece together so far?
Well, it's still very much early days, which you appreciate when Farquharson was killed Monday last week. So the initial stages have been completed, and the officers gave an initial account as to how they encountered Mr. Farquharson and came to shoot him. The post-mortem still awaits, and those officers are yet to come in to be formally interviewed in further detail about the matter. There were no other witnesses directly at the time of Mr. Farquharson's death. But as you reported, there was CCTV evidence installed in the house by the owner-occupier, which is not Mr. Farquharson. And that material was sent to his own phone on the cloud-based system. And we have been provided, the Commission, with the material, obviously more than what has been circulated and shown in the public forum. And that requires some considerable or detailed analysis and review to fully appreciate the sequence of events and the order of what occurred. So very much in early stages in respect of reviewing the CCTV and further forensic analysis and interviews of the officers.
And when do you anticipate you'll be able to interview those officers?
Well, if they're not being interviewed this week, they'll certainly be being interviewed next week.
Before I go to what you touched on regarding the available CCTV footage, have you written to these police personnel formally requesting that they come to Indicom for an interview or make themselves available? Have you formally done that?
Yes, I mean, that is the procedure which has been in place for many, many years. So when we were informed of a shooting, our Indicom staff will attend the scene, and they'll be served a notice, a formal notice under the Act, that they must submit themselves to attend to Indicom, in this case to Mandeville, where they will be interviewed. So that's a process which is routine and standardised and complied with by almost every single officer in the JCF.
And that happened in this instance, and was a date given to them? Because you did say they haven't come in as yet. Have they missed the date that was set for that interview?
I don't know the exact date they've been set, but they will have been given a date at the time of last week, and so they will come in on that date. I haven't heard that there's been a refusal or a reason as to why they haven't yet been able to meet that date.
All right. You did in fact raise that CCTV footage is available, and of course some of it is widely circulated online. I know there is this is an involved process, but have you been able to establish that what you are looking at happened on the day of the killing of Mr. Farquharson?
Yes, certainly. Yes, because I mean, but I don't want to go into details, and it wouldn't be appropriate. But it is Mr. Farquharson on the video. We can confirm the location, and the officers concerned are in the video, both in the bit you've seen and other videos. So we can confirm it is on that day and date.
All right. Go ahead, Ricardo.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask the Assistant Commissioner, have you been able to ascertain from the police what occasioned them going to the residence?
Well, the senior command, every planned police operation where a fatality occurs, obviously the Commission, we are very involved in and have been monitoring and assessing it for many, many years. So we require the senior officer present to provide rationale and explanation to ensure that they comply with their own use of force policy and firearms use. So we know that a search warrant under the Firearms Act had been secured for those premises, and that's their entry, that's sort of the rationale for them going to that property to search for a firearm.
And Jamar Farquharson's name appears on that warrant?
No, not all search warrants, although many do, have the name of a person. But Mr. Farquharson's name was not on this particular search warrant.
And so far as you've been able to ascertain from what the police have said, was Jamar wanted or a person of interest in relation to any matter?
I wouldn't be able to comment on that, but there's nothing that we've been informed by the police which would suggest that.
Tyrone?
And again, I know you can't give us the finer details, Assistant Commissioner. So we are being careful. But could you tell the people of Jamaica who are listening now and who have concerns about what they are seeing on the video as to whether or not the actual shooting of Mr. Farquharson was caught on camera?
Well, I haven't seen that yet, because it's evident that the CCTV at one stage was not operating. But there is a significant amount of material which we have to examine and look at to understand the timeline and chronology of what took place. But you know, the issue of CCTV has been encountered by the Commission for many, many years, and this is not the first time that we've come across CCTV which has been installed by homeowners and occupiers, which then we've been able to view one way or another. And also note that in other cases, CCTV is tampered with or interfered with or removed. So it's unfortunately not a new encounter for the Commission, but we recognise the public concern in this matter because it's now been relayed across a vast social media, and there's proper concern which needs to be allayed by the JSTF at a higher strategic level. But CCTV evidence and its removal or somehow disappearance is not new to the Commission.
And based on what you've been able to ascertain, what would have caused, as best you're able to say, that section that you say is missing? What would have caused it to be missing?
That's what we're establishing.
Have you had any reports, as reported in other sections of the media, that the police may have disconnected the internet or otherwise interfered with the cameras?
Well, we certainly read that and hear that, and we've spoken to the owner, obviously the man who owns the property and who had installed the CCTV to get a fuller understanding of both its setup and how it operates and why it would suddenly not be operating. So these are some of the intricate detail which we have to look at more closely to then provide facts.
You did say, Assistant Commissioner, that this is not the first rodeo regarding CCTV that is installed in a private residence being tampered with by the police. Am I hearing you correctly? And do the police have any such authority?
Well, I'll answer your last question first. No, and this is not a new matter which we've raised this previously with the Commissioner of Police and others in our regular meetings, annual meetings, that we have noticed. It's being candid, but it might be unpalatable. In certain cases, CCTV evidence being removed or dismantled. And that is one of our concerns, that it's certainly not legal. It's an interference if it occurs with the process of justice, the administration of justice. I mean, it's simply, under no scenario could it be correct, unless, of course, it was dismantled and given to us to say, this is what we found, which is not the case ever. So these are issues which we, as a commission, have a concern with, and which we are just about to produce. I mentioned earlier on to another journalist our Q3 report to Parliament, which addresses, timely or not, unfortunately, the issue of CCTV, body-worn cameras, and the increasing rise in planned policing operations of fatal shootings, of which none actually have a body-worn camera available. And the irony here, or the opposite, is a section of CCTV which provides a small piece in the puzzle and picture of what occurred, whereas body-worn cameras worn by agents of the state would do that for the police and the state, provide an objective account of incidents which can otherwise be open to misinterpretation or interpretation. Mm-hmm. So the irony is we have CCTV and there's much public alarm and clamour over it, whereas if they'd been wearing body-worn cameras, those officers walked into the premises, they engaged a man, he submitted to their authority, and we don't have any more in relation to that because the officers were not wearing body-worn cameras.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to just be clear on, Assistant Commissioner Campbell, because from what we see, Jamar goes to the door, his hands are up, he seemingly surrenders.
Yes.
Just have you been able to establish where exactly he was shot in terms of location? Was it inside the house?
No, it was certainly. That's not. That's something which can be mentioned. He was shot in his bedroom.
Mm-hmm. And how many officers were on this operation?
Well, 23 officers from the JCF were on this particular operation, led by a senior officer, and some 6 officers entered the property itself, or later, which we can observe, and 2 officers report that they fired their weapons, 2 rounds each, and Mr. Farquharson was killed.
At what point then, because from what we see, he doesn't appear to be a threat. At what point do the police allege he became a threat such that lethal force was required?
Well, the police account is he became a threat when he presented a firearm whilst he was in his bedroom.
After he surrendered to them at the door?
That is the account that we've been given.
So they took him
terribly consistent.
So they took him back inside the house.
Well, these are matters which we have to discuss further and establish the facts. But on their initial account, I mean, it's public transparency for the JCF. They report attending those premises with a search warrant. They encountered a man. He was outside. That man subsequently was in the bedroom, his own bedroom, where he produced a firearm, a .38 revolver. And in that threat, the officers perceived, he was shot and killed.
So based on the reports, what we are being asked to believe is that a young man who surrenders to the police at the entrance, which is captured by CCTV footage, you've established that based on your investigation so far, what we are looking at is actually on the day of the shooting of Mr. Farquharson, and not some previous police raid that was unfruitful previously where he surrendered. We're looking at what on the day the events actually happened. So he goes back inside in the face of 23 officers, 6 of whom attended upon the house, and then he pulls a firearm on them. That is really what the people of Jamaica are being asked to believe.
That is the report we have, and that is, as a more broader piece, I understand your question, and I don't disagree with it, that many of these planned operations are reported in exactly the same way. And that is why you hear a community voice from across the country that many of the reports given by the police do not accord with other witnesses in other cases. And this CCTV has shone a light, perhaps, on these events. There's been 114 fatalities from planned police operations so far this year. And in many of them, the other citizens, because there are other people in these houses when they come, are reporting similar scenarios. But we do not have CCTV, and we certainly do not have body-worn cameras. And that is why, whilst it might appear as a broken record from the Commissioner and myself and the Commissioner Polknow, the argument and the debate for body-worn cameras are so well known, clear and unarguable. They don't keep requiring repetition, although we will inform Parliament again in early October. It's understood what body-worn cameras are for and how they can assist the police and Jamaica move forward.
Yeah.
I know we have to let him go, Ricardo, but if I could just squeeze this one in quickly. The police have asserted their right to remain silent, certainly in response to this interview. And they're suggesting that they have declined because they want to, let me read what our producer has here, they want to allow Indicom to complete their investigation. Is that something that is required by Indicom for the police to decline interviews on this matter? You require the police to remain silent. Is it best practice internationally? Or can the police speak?
And officers wouldn't be, but I know you don't mean that. I mean, the Commissioner of Police and superior senior command within the police in others, from my own experience, would, and in America you've only got to look across the water, would speak out in relation to fatal shootings which have caused alarm and concern within communities and sections of the community, to try to provide reassurance and allay citizens' concerns. That's a perfectly legitimate approach by the Commissioner of Police and the police force here to do that if they wish. It doesn't interfere with no one wants to speak to the concerned officers, of course. That's a separate matter which we will address. But the rising concern is repeated. You know, we have to be candid. Too often. You know, we've now reached 226 people have been shot and killed this year. Last year's whole total was 189. The year before was 155. We haven't even finished September and we're at 226, of which over 114 arise from planned police operations entering people's property. Now, the police have got a very significant job to do and engage with armed and dangerous men, if they are indeed armed and dangerous, and bring them to the court. So the citizens, some sections of society will naturally be concerned, and they don't believe, right or wrong, incorrect or false, the accounts sometimes attributed by the police to events. And only body-worn cameras now, that's why the Jamaicans for Justice keep fighting the same thing as we do. We have become something of a broken record, but it's absolutely valid in terms of international human rights, international practice, that in order to allay and remove all this mistrust, misunderstanding, and confusion, wear body-worn cameras. And then, my goodness, there would be no problem at all, because we could see exactly what happened and we'd be able to tell immediately to the public, actually, what Constable A said is true, because we have the video.
Yeah. Assistant Commissioner Hamish Campbell of Indicom, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going to take the break and come back with the Mayor of Maypen and Jamar's mother.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is...
It's 5:52.
Birdshot fried chicken always ready. Birdshot, original crispy. Birdshot, Cajun spicy. Birdshot, a barbecue. Birdshot, we are go a Birdshot.
The temperature brought to you by Birdshot Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. It's also 31 in Ocho Rios.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
Go ahead, Ricardo.
No, please go ahead.
Welcome back. Thank you so very much for staying with us. This is Nationwide at 5. We are discussing this troubling issue of videos being circulating. We're trying to piece together what really happened in Cherry Tree Lane. Of course, it's a matter that it's under investigation, conflicting reports. You just heard there from the Assistant Commissioner of Indicom, Hamish Campbell. We are now being joined by the mother of Jamar Farquharson, Lafayette Powell, and Mayor of May Pen, Joel Williams. Top of the afternoon to both of you. Welcome to Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon to you too and your listeners and viewers.
If I could begin with you, Ms. Farquharson, first of all, our condolences on the loss of your son. What can you tell us? Have you seen the footage that has been circulating? What can you tell us in terms of what happened at that house?
Yes, I can see the footage that is going on social media. That's the only way I can get that's the only way I get information is follow up on social media. I see the footage and looking at it.
Do you have us on speakerphone, Ms. Farquharson? Ms. Powell, pardon me. Do you have us on speakerphone?
No. I'm actually looking at the feedback of the noise.
Okay.
Because I'm actually listening.
All right, so we're talking to the mother of Jamar Farquharson and the mayor of May Pen, Joel Williams. This matter of police fatal shooting, video circulating online, and there are conflicting reports as to what exactly happened in that house last Monday. Ms. Powell?
Yes, sir?
Yes, you were answering Tyrone.
Yes, yes, I see the feedback on social media. That's the only way I get the information. So I watch the feedback on social media. When this happened, the first time it happened for me, I was just still in shock. Up to this moment, I am still cannot believe that it is my child, but I am trying my best to come to reality as time goes by, because I know that if I call this phone, I'm not going to get through. And based on the evidence, someone identified him. I did not get to see his body at it, but someone identified that was living in the house. And it's a confirmation that yes, it is him.
You say you have not yet seen his body?
No, because it is going through investigation. So I have to wait and in the come when they do a taxi, they call me to come and look at it. I don't see any photos, any image of it or nothing. I just hear about other information and I just have to just take what they say to me.
Yes. And tell me, Miss Powell, what kind of son was Jamar?
I love him, caring, manageable person. Even when him have a conflict, he always come around. Even if he don't say, Mommy, he will say, miserable lady, well, this. If he has something to give to his sisters, he will still come around and give it. But even if he don't say, Mommy, he will say, miserable lady, well, this. Because I don't want to say, okay, he's miserable, but he always there.
And was he your only child?
No, I'm a mama too. He was my firstborn child and the oldest son.
How old was he, Ms. Powell? And what did he do for a living?
He was 22 years old. November before he put 23.
And what did he do for a living?
In the catering, cashier, in a little event, and he also was working at the Water Commission.
And had you had any reports whatsoever, heard anything at all, that your son was involved in any kind of illegality, any kind of...
No, sir, not that I know. No. Up to this moment, I still cannot believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Joel Williams,
yes, sir?
What are you hearing Are there any concerns on your part as Mayor of Maypen?
Yes, I'm concerned because of what I saw on social media. The video clipping, and that's one. And two, I'm concerned because at a point where we are now, we are trying to get the police and community to work together to build that kind of synergy that will make Jamaica better for us tomorrow. And in light of what would have happened in that territory lane space prior to, and then this one now, two diverse situation, it's not spelling well for us. Two, I knew this young man very well. When he was a toddler, his mother used to walk he and his sisters to school. The community will tell you, very quiet, really speak, not involved in anything untoward that any of us could speak to. I know he works with the National Water Commission, and as his mother said, he does chef work on the side. The communities are very upset, especially the community of Western Park and its surrounding area where he was born and grew. And you go there and they could tell you, that this is not a young man who ever involved in any issues that is contrary to the law.
Very often people come on and say that about people who have, who have been perhaps fatally shot by the police. But you're saying this young man, Mr. Mayor, and you don't want him to be involved in illegal.
Personally, as I said, I knew when his mother used to walk he and his sisters to basic school. And he grew up very quiet, very humble. I mean, he passed. It's not often today young people would pass and say good morning or good evening or good day. And this young man, that's the kind of demeanor that you get from him when you happen to meet or to pass him. That's what he exhibited. A lot of people are very upset. And as I said, it's very, very unfortunate because this kind of incident will only further to divide the police and the communities. I hope that the truth will come to the fore, and at this point in time, he has two other sisters who are not from the same mother, who I knew very well too, and they are all very, very devastated at this point in time.
Do you know who owned the property where he lived? Do you know? He rented the property from someone?
No, I don't know who owned the property. We don't know. But what happened is that this young man is always trying. He's a trying young man. He got the job through Water Commission. A matter of fact, his grandfather was an employee some time back with the National Water Commission. And probably this is through that connection. Works very hard. He would have gotten this job. So he decided to move out and go on his own, and to as a young man, not to have the burden on his mother. And this is what happened.
Ms. Powell, Mayor Williams, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And our condolences again, Ms. Powell.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Tyrone, it's uncomfortable, and I think there are several questions to be answered.
Absolutely, and I know, the police asserting that it doesn't want to say anything until Indicom completes its investigation. I don't know that that's in keeping with international best practice, which is why I asked the commissioner that. The JCF says it's a force for good. Well, evil triumphs when good men remain silent, Now is not the time for them to want to be quiet. The leadership, the hierarchy of the JCF need to look at what's on the table and also speak to the public concerning what is out there, because what we're looking at now, on the face of it, it does not look good.
Yeah,
it does not look good.
That's all the time we have. The headlines are next.
hour was brought to you by the KFC Value Menu. Grab a chicken box, famous bowl, crunch sandwich, or small popcorn chicken with combos starting at just $620. KFC. It's finger licking good.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
3 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. 225 people have been killed by security forces since the start of the year. That's according to the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM. The figure is 95 more than the 130 individuals killed up to September 23 last year. That's a 73% increase in police fatal shootings when compared to the same period last year. So far, 15 Jamaicans have been killed by the police in September alone. The shooting death of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon, is the latest to be reported this year. On Monday, the Commission said it was probing the incident. Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, says Farquharson's death has raised serious concerns about police conduct and accountability.
This incident for us is reminiscent of the 2024 shooting of Romario Sterling in Bog Walk, St. Catherine. If you recall, in that incident, there was a man who appeared to be kneeling down, and then what sounded like a gunshot was heard, and the imagery was captured on CCTV camera and the footage provided by the family. So it is eerily similar, and I think there are many questions that require urgent answers from the Jamaica Constabulary Force and certainly from INDICOM.
Meanwhile, Ms. Jackson has called on Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake to update the police on the status of the procurement process and planned deployment of body-worn cameras within the force.
JFJ, we take this opportunity to reiterate the call for the mandatory use of body cameras, especially in planned and tactical operations, because we want to ensure that there's transparency and accountability. We also call on the Police Commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, to give the country an update as to the status of the procurement of the body-worn cameras.
In May, the Commissioner indicated that the process to procure 1,000 body-worn cameras was nearing completion. At the time, Dr. Blake indicated that approximately 670 cameras were in daily use by the police. Ms. Jackson says the deployment of ordinary body-worn cameras would assist in cases like Farquharson's.
I think when we look at this particular incident, it is very clear that there need not be any specialized body-worn cameras, because the ordinary body-worn cameras that are currently in use would be just fine, because it would give you an idea of what happened before, even if not during, but certainly after an incident, to aid with quicker conclusion of an investigation. So we join the family that these are urgent questions that warrant urgent responses, and it's a timely reminder for all Jamaicans to join in the call for the mandatory use of body-worn cameras.
Michael Jackson, Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice. PNP caretaker for West Central St. Andrew, Paul Buchanan, is insisting he won the seat in the September 3 general election. He made the claim during a recent podcast interview.
I believe in my heart I won the election, and I won it very big. There are 33,000 voters in that constituency. We have 3 divisions, 8,000 in the Civil Rights Division, smallest. We have 11,000 in Olympic, which is Mr. Hollis's strong area. And there is Mullines, which has 13,400, by far the largest. We have never lost it, not since adult suffrage. Andrew knew that if Mullines came out, the election was lost, no matter what he did down at Olympic.
West Central St. Andrew is represented by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Holness tallied 7,054 votes to Buchanan's 4,953. The victory has been affirmed by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, and there's no evidence of any impropriety. But according to Buchanan, his canvass was showing clear signs of victory.
Everything on election day, every outturn in terms of people support, new people coming to vote, everything. There was celebration from 7 o'clock, but the results in the boxes and the counting did not reflect that vote in Mullines. It was opposite. In fact, we got a data scientist to do his work and to analyze. And the conclusion drawn is that for us to get the outcome of 2,000, only 2,000 odd votes in Mullines is less than 1 in 1,000.
Paul Buchanan, PNP caretaker for West Central St. Andrew. The Education Ministry is calling on students and teachers to report cases of bullying. In a statement on Tuesday, the ministry says it was deeply saddened by the suspected suicide of 16-year-old Jamar Surgeon. It says the incident reinforces the urgent need to confront bullying and address pressures faced by young Jamaicans. Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Dr. Kassan Troop, is urging principals to prioritize psychosocial activities in schools. Principals are also being reminded that counseling psychologists and psychotherapists can be accessed through the Regional Guidance Unit. Teachers are also urged to be vigilant and respond swiftly to signs of distress. The ministry says parents must maintain open dialogue with their children and seek help if they suspect their child is struggling. Those are the headlines at 6. Sam Norgay. Banton Sports is next.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall. Upper Total Tools. Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When you say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Do it for your best life, great. Go check your HIV status, great. So keep your life trending, no pretending. Me, I tell you, if it do it for you, do it for you. Every time you are link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Condom connect and protect your profile. Be your own fan. Do it for your best life, great. Do it for your best life, great. Don't put yourself at risk. Condom connect every time. Do it for your best life.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. Now you can see funds in your T-Tag account almost immediately after topping up. So if you're already on your journey, you can safely pull off the road and top up using the My T-Tag app or WhatsApp, or ask your passenger to do it for you. And within 5 to 10 minutes, you can enjoy the lower toll rates and other benefits of the T-Tag link. Even if you forget to top up before you started your trip, top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
Good evening with your sports report. I'm Alvix Swaby.
And I'm Maureen Buchanan.
We start with track and field as members of Jamaica's track and field team received a hero's welcome on Monday as they return home from the Tokyo World Championships. Among the well-wishers on hand at Norman Manley International Airport was Minister of Sports Oliver Grains, who led the celebrations. The homecoming was especially emotional as it marked the final World Championship appearance for sprint legend Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who capped her illustrious career with a silver medal in the women's 4x100 meters relay in Tokyo. Now 38, Fraser-Pryce ends her World Championship journey with a staggering 17 medals, 10 gold, 6 silver and a bronze, solidifying her legacy as one of the most decorated athletes in the sport's history. Minister Grains paid glowing tribute to the 5x100 meters world champion.
There might be no universal agreement on who is the greatest woman sprinter in history, but as far as we are all concerned, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is not only the best woman sprinter Jamaica has produced, but is the best the world has seen. She is the most decorated 100-meter sprinter of all time and holds more individual global sprint titles than any other woman sprinter. At the 2008 Beijing Olympics, she became the first Caribbean woman to win gold in the 100-meter.
An emotional Fraser-Pryce thanked her fans for their unwavering support throughout her career.
This year, even with storms and obstacles, you guys have helped me to find my way through them. I've always been by my side, and I'm grateful for that. And I continue to just celebrate the moment for what it is, because it is such a rich history that we all have. And I know you guys spoke about all the achievements that I have or had on the track, but it's not just about me. It's so many other Jamaican athletes that came before me. And as much as I have created my own legacy, I have partnered with them on their legacies.
The Tokyo World Championships saw Jamaica once again asserting its dominance on the track with several standout performances across sprint and field events. Fraser-Pryce's farewell marked the end of an era, but her impact on the sport and the hearts of Jamaicans will undoubtedly endure.
It's an amazing feeling to be able to be the daughter of this soil. And I know a lot of persons, they say Jamaica, we lick here, we Talawa, and it's amazing to be a dot on a map. But we're so loud, and we're big, and we're proud.
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Jamaica's under-21 netball team will face their sternest test yet at the Netball Youth World Cup when they go head-to-head with England in their third group match on Wednesday in Gibraltar. Both teams remain undefeated heading into the crucial encounter, setting the stage for a high-stakes clash that could determine group supremacy and potentially influencing the knockout stage. The young Sunshine Girls are riding high after a dominant 61-43 victory over Wales in their second group match, a performance that not only showcased their attacking flair but also tightened the bond within the squad. Captain Roxana McLean believes the team is peaking at the right time and is fully prepared for the challenge that lies ahead.
We're definitely expecting a strong, hard place from them, but we're ready. As a squad, we've been training for a little under a year, but with this short amount of time that we got, we made sure that we made use of every single training session.
Roxana McLean.
Now to footballers. Calabar, after suffering a 4-1 defeat on match day 1 of the Issa Manning Cup competition, has bounced back to record back-to-back victories. Their latest came earlier today as they whipped Wolmer's 4-1 at the Courtney Walsh Oval. Jerome Wade, head coach of Wolmer's boys, explained that the 1 o'clock start time worked against his team severely.
Today it was really not easy, as you know. 1 o'clock is not easy to encounter with. As a result of that, one of my players collapsed and he's now at the medical associate. We are trying to see, what is going on. But it's a little time from now, I'll find out. But it wasn't an easy game. And Calabar looked the better unit. I mean, they were second to the ball at all times. And, we're still making too many, mistakes in the back.
In the day's second encounter, Excelsior thrashed St. George's College 5-1.
10-man Liverpool held off Southampton to claim a 2-1 victory in the third round of the EFL Cup on Tuesday at Anfield. New signing Alexander Isak opened the scoring for the Reds in the 43rd minute to give the home side a slender half-time lead. Hugo Ekitike doubled the advantage in the 85th minute.
Chiesa's nicked out, Isak, and Liverpool are in front. Seconds after they should have been behind. Toro Endo, not a very good clearance. Parchi helped it on, and Shea Charles puts it in the net. And there it is. Southampton equalise. That's a lovely run. What a touch. Brilliant touch by Chiesa. Rolls it into the path of Hugo Ekitike. And there's another one. A Liverpool late show.
However, Ekitike's night took a dramatic turn just 1 minute after the French forward scored when he was ejected from the game. In other results, Brighton blanked Barnsley 6-0, Chelsea edged Lincoln City 2-1, and Wolves defeated Everton 2-0.
Now the stage is set for a thrilling finale in the GK1 Howard McCarthy Community Basketball League semifinals as the Grandspent Giants and the Edgewater Wolverines prepare to clash in the third and deciding game of their best-of-3 series at Peace Park Grandspent on Tuesday evening at 7. The Giants forced the decisive matchup with a hard-fought 79-74 victory on Sunday, bouncing back from their Game 1 loss with renewed energy and determination on their home court. Led by a balanced offensive effort and improved defensive intensity, the Giants managed to hold off the Wolverines to keep their title hopes alive. With both teams now locked at 1-1, Tuesday's showdown promises high drama and intensity as only one team will advance to the finals of the league. The Wolverines, who took Game 1, will be eager to bounce back and silence the home crowd. But the Giants, buoyed by their recent win and home court advantage, will be looking to ride the momentum all the way to the championship round.
The Jamaica Millennium Motoring Club extends congratulations to Jamaican riders Chris Issa and Senna Somerville for their performance at round 3 of the 2025 TCR European Endurance Series in Italy. Racing their Cupra Leon DSG TCR with Wimawork Motorsport, Issa and Somerville delivered a determined drive that secured them a well-earned third-place finish at the DSG class, bringing home another international podium for Jamaica. This performance further cements Issa and Somerville's reputation as consistent contenders in international touring car endurance racing, proudly flying the Jamaican flag against European competitors. Looking ahead, all eyes now turn to the season finale in Misano, where the fourth and final round of the series will take place from November 14th to 16th. The final promises high drama with 50% more points awarded compared to earlier rounds, and each team's worst result dropped from the standings, meaning every lap will count as the championship comes to a thrilling conclusion. The JMMC applauds Issa and Somerville for their success and wishes them the very best as they prepared for the all-important final in Misano.
And in the lighter side of sports, tensions are rising as George Davis and Sanjay Roden prepare to face off in the final match of the preliminary round of the prestigious nationwide quiz set to take place on Wednesday. Davis is instantly recognizable with his completely shaved head and piercing focus. All eyes are on the matchup, though the odds suggest a one-sided affair. Davis, known for his rapid-fire responses and unmatched trivial recall, enters the contest as the overwhelming favorite at 1-9 odds. He's a crowd favorite and a near lock for the second round. So confident is Davis in his superiority that he issues a bold challenge ahead of the match that if he wins by less than 11 points, he's willing to forfeit the match.
Sondre is coming to lose tomorrow. If Sondre finishes within 10 points of me, he wins. He might go through the next round. I would have lost if he finished within 10 points of me tomorrow. That's how confident I am. The whole office, I pray for me lose tomorrow. All my friends, I pray for me lose. Hey man, everybody I pray for me lose. Get to know on the Pepsi, get to know Spirit, and come tomorrow and watch the big man in action.
His opponent, Roden, ranked at long shot odds of 99-1, has remained cool under pressure. Though few expect him to pull off an upset, Roden appears unfazed by the odds or his opponent's bravado. When asked for a response to Davis's bold claim, Sanjay offered just a calm message.
Yeah, joke this. Them say 18 never heard either. We should get involved in this, but get what?
Say less indeed. The winner will join Rubian Williams and Ricardo Brooks in the second round. I'm Alric Sribi.
I'm Maureen Buchanan. That's your sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:22.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
Freedom, speed, agility, intelligence, friendship. These are the hallmarks that define the dolphin, the master of the seas, and are the hallmarks that inspire Sterling Asset Management. For over 20 years, we have provided investment products that give our clients financial freedom, and our service is fast, insightful, warm, and genuine. Sterling Asset Management, intelligent investing for the intelligent investor.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from the daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. Enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle in Ocho Rios from $299 per night. Take advantage of this offer today by calling Couples Resorts at 876-632-8200. Conditions apply.
School is back in session, so let's see if you're quiz competition ready. In a right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Who gave us that theorem? That's right, Pythagoras. Which city is home to the United Nations headquarters? That's New York City. And here's another one. Which country invented the Olympic Games over 2,700 years ago? If you said Greece, that's correct. The answer is Greece. If you got them right, you're sharp enough to follow the battle of the year. From September 22 to 26, Jamaica's best journalists face off in the nationwide quiz competition. Live from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. 5 days, 5 rounds. One winner will be crowned Quiz Champion of the Year. The nationwide quiz competition. Knowledge has no borders and class is always in session. The NNN Back to School Quiz is brought to you by New Pack. More than just value. Wellington Dental. Dental care at its best. Best dressed chicken Vienna sausage. Only the best. Trans Jamaican Highway Limited. For your best journey. Kendall Foods. The taste of quality. And Mark Superstore. Quick and fast delivery.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams. A special greetings to our friends over on our YouTube platform. Those of you who are seeing us live and direct, thank you so much for joining us. We ask you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion, and it concerns the cabinet ministers, The Holness administration, the new Holness administration, will cost taxpayers more than $500 million a year in salaries. That's the executive. Prime Minister will be joined by 18 cabinet ministers, 13 state ministers, and a parliamentary secretary to pilot the policy business of government over the next 5 years. At existing salary levels, taxpayers will be called upon to foot this hefty bill. So in Public Opinion this evening, we're asking, do you have an issue with the size of the cabinet? I'll start with the comments on our Facebook platform. Maxine Soleil Riley is saying, not at all. As far as I'm concerned, it is a matter of demand and supply. The needs of the country are great, hence the manpower must be sufficient and efficient. Herbert Hines is saying the size of the cabinet is comparable to the size of every cabinet since 2012, with between 18 to 20 ministers. This cabinet has 19. One would say 18, and along with a parliamentary secretary. The 13 junior ministers is just 4 more than 2020. And Herbert is saying a 32-member cabinet and a junior ministers, not a big deal. It's not a big deal, he says, in the context of previous cabinets. George Elliott is saying that the cabinet comprises a group of people who are able and motivated to keep building Jamaica. And he's saying there's nothing wrong with the size. Tina Fenton says definitely not. Together they would achieve the result which is needed. Carlington is saying clearly JLP comes out from the most recent poll with the bigger base. Any wise leader would seek to consolidate such an advantage. So no, I don't have a problem with a bigger cabinet. That's according to Carlington Bartley. Romaria Godlife Gray is saying, no, once there is a result, we are fine. Most ministers are in their last term, so they have to groom the younger ones to replace them. I would say to succeed them, they need the experience. So a few years from now, the PM can know where best to place them. Herman Harris is saying, I remember not so long ago we had 2 finance ministers. When you have aging ministers, a proper succession plan needs to be in place. Shirley Augustine says it's a great move. This cabinet setup, she believes it's a great move. O'Neill Dennis saying the cabinet is okay for Jamaica to progress. Philip Jackson is saying, my concern is not the size of is the effect. There is a saying which says more hands makes work lighter. Government must now show results. They are fully equipped with the staff to do so. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Prime Minister's cabinet, the size of the cabinet. We said earlier that it consists of 18 cabinet ministers, 13 state ministers, and a parliamentary secretary. Okay, so on Instagram, Narco says, unfortunately, it's the price of succession plan. The JLP has an aging cohort of senior politicians set to retire, and the younger, less experienced ones have to be upskilled. HM Queen is saying, I just want the work to be done. I want to believe the PM knows what he's doing, hence the reason he is the Prime Minister. According to Junior Nana is saying that the cabinet should have been bigger. I wonder how much bigger you would want it. Just Peachy 19 is saying, as long as it is a hard-working cabinet, I have no issues. Carmack said whether it have a laugh. Carmack said whether it be cabinet, break front or whatnot, it was there before and will occur again, even if the other P in power. That bad. Cabinet, break front or whatnot. Everybody has to feed from the trough, says Padworthy. F.A. Michael says nothing is wrong with the size of the cabinet once it's effective. Let me see what Hyatt Herman is saying. Also saying that nothing is wrong with the size as long as they're getting the job done. Shamar says, let's keep in mind that several cabinet ministers will be leaving representational politics before the 5 years. All right. I don't see anything wrong with it, says Shamar. WAP is asking if the pay is different, if they are just vote in as MP. Yardman is saying, why is this being pushed as a narrative though? Okay. All right, let me see if I can get to the comments on our X platform. The taxpayers, it will cost more than $500 million a year in salary for the Wholeness Executive. The Prime Minister will be joined, as I said prior, by 18 cabinet ministers, 13 state ministers, and a parliamentary secretary. So we're asking, what do you make of the size of this cabinet? Is it too big? Is it too small? All right. So the comments on our Twitter platform. No, it's not Twitter. It's X. Was renamed X a very long time ago. Yes. So let's get to the comments there. Graham Jervis is saying none at all. They were given another mandate. Sharis Michael says not only the size, but the pay. Okay. Andre says, I don't have an issue with the size of the cabinet. What matters most is that the team is effective, accountable, and able to deliver. Let's see what's happening with our YouTubers over there. Aishan Khan says, every one of them seems to be highly qualified and capable to bring the country to the first world we're longing for. Faith says, no worries for me. I just want to see good results and Jamaica progressing upward. According to Pekka thinks the state ministers are appropriate and it gives the ministers some time to spend in their own constituency. Don, I see you saying Team Robian will beat George. And Robian will go up against George tomorrow, guys. George Davis is going up against Sandre Roden. So look out for that in the NNN quiz. But thank you guys so much, Let us see. At the end of the week, we'll know who is the winner. We have so far 2 winners, Ricardo Brooks and myself. So let us see how it go, no? Make we see how it go. Marsha Bonnie is saying, remember a candidate said representing the people was a downgrade, which means they're being paid less that the private sector? Okay. Some of these people wouldn't mind going into the cabinet. Now, would there be cabinet whatnot or break front, according to one of the comments I read earlier? Orinthia Campbell says, no, not really. Nigel Bonner saying, it's okay as well, coming from Betsy Powell. Majority of the comments I've read so far, I will narrow it down to say that the respondents are quite comfortable with the size of Wholeness's cabinet. All right, thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:35.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robian Williams. News from the Jamaica Stock Exchange's main market. Wisynco has advised of the purchase of 132,000 Wisynco shares by eligible employees of the company on September 18, 2025. This was done under the Wisynco Long-Term Incentive Plan. JMMBGL has declared an interim dividend of 30 cents per share payable on October 31, 2025 to ordinary shareholders on record as at October 7, 2025. Now, the ex-dividend date is October 7, 2025. Further afield, the UK is forecast to see the highest rate of inflation of the G7 advanced economies this year. That's according to an influential global policy group. The Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, raised its prediction for UK inflation. This is the rate at which prices rise, and they predict for it to be 3.5% across 2025, citing higher food costs as a factor. It increased its forecast slightly for UK growth this year at 1.4%, but the economy is still expected to slow come next year. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 160 Jamaican dollars and 79 cents to buy $1, 215 Jamaican dollars and 38 cents to buy £1 British pound, and 116 Jamaican dollars and 71 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. Thank you so much for listening. That's the Business Report. I'm Roby Ann Williams.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah, Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Home is closer than you think when you save towards your dream home with the Homeowner Savings Plan, or HOSP, from CIBC Caribbean. With HOSP, you unlock preferential interest rates to earn more interest on your savings and pay less with a discounted mortgage rate. You can even borrow up to an additional US $5,000 or its equivalent to help you with your closing costs. Get home faster when you save the HOSP way with CIBC.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis, weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we're all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads Podcast. It's a revolution in media.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With the Stinger Honey Bee
and Karim Boyatings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. What you say?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brainbusters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezone blinddates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblinddates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions. Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for the nation's business. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Top of the afternoon to you, listeners and viewers. I'm Tyrone Reed.
And we're turning our attention now to the matter of children and suicide. Now, 7 of the nation's students have tragically lost their lives in the opening weeks of the new school year. 2 of those students died by suspected suicide. 16-year-old Jamar Surgeon was found dead in his home over the weekend. He was a grade 11 student at Homewood Technical High in Manchester.
Similarly, 13-year-old twins Tyers of Hopewell High in the parish of Hanover was found hanging from the shower. An electrical cord was wrapped around his neck. And of course, we'll be discussing a difficult subject matter here this evening. And so, of course, we want to just use this as an advisory for anyone who might be triggered by what we are going to be discussing. It's believed both teens were victims of bullying. President of the National Parent Teacher Association of Jamaica, that's the NPTHA, Stuart Jacobs, says the tragedies are a stark reminder that more guidance counselors are needed in schools.
These schools are left in a tailspin of having to come to grips with the loss of their colleague, fellow student, and of course a child it lends the fact that guidance counseling is needed post and pre these tragedies, because perhaps some guidance counseling might have prevented the one that has to deal with suicide. How do we deal with a school situation, though, where you have up to 1,400 students in a school being serviced by one guidance counselor?
That's Stuart Jacobs. Now, the Children's Advocate, Dan Gordon Harrison, says the tragedies highlight the need for more intervention services for students, and the Ministry of Education is calling on students and teachers to report cases of bullying. The principals are specifically being reminded that counseling psychologists and psychotherapists can be accessed through the regional guidance unit, and teachers are being urged to be vigilant and to respond swiftly to any signs of distress.
Now, the ministry also says, Ricardo, listeners, viewers, that parents must maintain open dialogue with their children and seek help if they suspect their child is struggling. Joining us, to discuss further this critical issue is the Children's Advocate, Diane Gordon Harrison. Good evening to you, Madam Children's Advocate. Welcome once again to Nationwide at 5.
Thank you for having me.
And just before we get into it, Tyrone, just to tell the listeners, immediate support is available through SafeSpot at 888-723-3776. That's 888-723-3776, or via WhatsApp at 876-439-5199. And at the end of the discussion, we have some more numbers to give you.
We have the CPPC Child Protection Hotline, which can be accessed at 211 as well.
Yeah. Mrs. Gordon Harrison, go ahead, Tyrone.
Roman, you can go ahead, Ricardo.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Children's Advocate, what are some of the reports that you've been getting in terms of students and suicide? Is it really a pervasive issue, or are these recent incidents isolated?
I think that it's boiling over at the top. And what I mean is that you mentioned SafeSpot in your introduction just now, which I'm very happy that you did, because for your listeners, I just want to inform them and to remind those who are aware of it. SafeSpot provides free and confidential counseling support 24 hours per day and is staffed by counselors and psychologists who really support children with a number of interventions. Now, when SafeSpot started in operation, it was May of 2021, and we saw a huge number of children and teens who would reach out to us, whether by WhatsApp or otherwise, and they would talk about suicidal ideations or attempts that they had actually made. And, we had a heavy, referral out for very serious intervention, just in case, parents needed to be alerted and so on to stave off these instances. Then, towards the middle of last year, we saw a fall off of those numbers, and we saw that they were calling about other things. Support with homework, decision with career choices, conflict at home, and they didn't like how their parents were relating to each other, and so on. And so we breathed a sigh of relief. But what I can tell you is that looking at our data, and this is data that I have been assessing from the start of the year up to August 2025, if we pull out the month of August, for example, we're seeing that mental health issues are again in the lead, and in particular, there's a very high uptick in terms of suicidal ideations and suicidal attempts that our children and teens are calling about. And so that number, based on the data for August alone, was 178 cases, which is particularly high and tells a story. What's interesting as well, however, is that though the two instances that are the latest in the news now in terms of successful suicidal attempts, they relate to boys. But our data has been showing that it is predominantly the girls between age 13 to 15 years who have been reaching out for the support and the intervention. And so there's so many, issues that are bottled up in what I've just said, but what we're seeing is that there clearly is a need, and there clearly are some issues that surround suicidality in its various forms among our teen population in particular.
And bullying is said to be involved here, Madam Diane Gordon-Harrison. Are we doing enough to tackle the scourge of bullying?
I'm going to say not necessarily. And it's because bullying has so many different interpretations depending on who you speak with. But what I find is that though there are some schools, for example, that have zero tolerance in relation to bullying, whether it is mild, medium, or severe, you have other institutions who perhaps don't recognize the pattern of behavior as bullying. And so because they're not identifying it as such, the response is not as it should be. And then you have other instances where the behavior is in fact recognized, but because the administrators or the leadership do not have a clear anti-bullying policy that they subscribe to, the behavior that is problematic is not necessarily dealt with in the same way, depending sometimes on who the children are, or depending on who the parents are, or depending on which person in the management or leadership or the person in authority at the school is responding. So you may have some persons who are very strident and who will deal with it. You may have other persons who do the ostrich mentality, so you put your head and bury it in the sand and hopefully it goes away and you pray about it. And then you still have others who use the psychosocial intervention where you're looking at both students as victims who are calling out for an intervention, albeit of a different sort. So I think we need to get it right in terms of a standardization and then a general position that we're able to divorce ourselves from the personalities per se in the matter and deal with the issues based on how they arise.
Mrs. Go ahead, Taryn. Go ahead.
No, I was just trying to bring it all together there, Ricardo, with this quick one. So system-wide, Madam Gordon-Harrison, we aren't taking bullying as seriously as it ought to be treated with system-wide. Is that what I'm hearing from you? Are there people who are still seeing it as just a little grubbing, we all went through it, that kind of a thing? System-wide, is it not being treated with the seriousness that it should be?
I would say in some instances, but I don't want to put it all on the system because there are also the cultural and community-based perspectives that, that dog us. If you speak to, the typical man in the street who observes something, would that person see what could be described as bullying as in fact bullying, or would they see it as rough horseplay? Or would they in fact see it as something that is absolutely hilarious and nobody never touch anybody, so this can't be bullying? So, I don't know if we're sensitized enough about the different types of way that bullying can be manifested. It doesn't have to be roughhousing and playing. It could be a consistent pattern of mean words. Bullying now is also, being recognized as even the omission of being kind. So it's not that you're saying anything to the person, but you're deliberately on a consistent basis taking steps to exclude an individual because of some feature that you perhaps don't like about them. That too can lead to very serious self-esteem issues, which can then escalate if the proper intervention isn't provided. So I think not just system, but also culturally and in our communities, there may be issues that individuals, the common man in the street going about their business, even some parents and caregivers may not recognize the impact that a pattern of persistent behavior could have on their child, and then the issue isn't arrested, and then you have the escalation where something that you completely do not anticipate comes far left and the worst happens.
Yeah. And Madam Children's Advocate, that's where I wanted to go just now, because I'm online a lot, perhaps too much. And sometimes
we need to have an intervention for you.
And you know, sometimes I will see a video and a child is clearly in distress. A child is being taunted. And people are sharing it, they're laughing. And then sometimes you'll have a lone voice that says, you know, we really ought not to be sharing it. And the response always seems to be, why so thin-skinned? Can't you take a little joke?
Right.
And there's a coarseness I find online where it seems it's just a virtual world. It's not real life. So just shrug it off. How do we change that kind of attitude?
That's going to be generational, and you know that to change the outlook of a generation and to really change culture takes time. And what that would look like, though, is a 360-degree kind of immersive program where we're having messages sent to targeted audiences in languages that they understand. It may not just be message by word, but it could be a little public service announcement that takes the form of a 30-second video, you know, where people see a pattern of behavior, and then there is something that says, no, man, this is not right because of so-and-so. It also involves, you know, what is, you know, character education in our schools, where we're teaching our children how to treat people. How would you like it if this were done to you? And then really flipping it so that they introspect and recognize that if you really respect the person who is sitting in the next desk, there's no way you would even think about doing X. And if you personalize it, you know, then we need to be doing it at the PTA level as well, whereby parents who are interacting with their children who could be victims of bullying or who could be the bully themselves, they too are being brought into the conversation. And then, of course, system-wide in terms of the standardization as to how anti-bullying measures are to be implemented, and, you know, really have a kind of 360-degree rotation. I just wanted to mention as well, I'm looking at my statistics here, and I wanted to insert that when we broke down the subcategory of violence, we saw that there's not just bullying in schools that's presenting a problem, that the children who reach out to us via Safe Spot have red flagged. So that is the lead, bullying in schools, but we also have them red flagging bullying out of school that causes them great distress. So that tells us that it's not just a school and system problem, but it is something that is perhaps societal.
Yeah. We're out of time, but I want to ask you this one, last one, because our parents, what are some signs that they should perhaps look for to tell them the child is perhaps in emotional distress? Because maybe the child, maybe the child doesn't come home and saying, I am being bullied. But are there any signs that a parent can look for to say, okay, the child needs help and support?
All right, so there are some general ones, but it really goes back down to knowing your child and your child's temperament and what's normal for your child. But some of the general signs, suddenly the child doesn't want to do things that they always wanted to do. So they don't want to go to school, or they want to go to school, but they don't want to stay back for football for a consistent period. Every day is a different excuse, you know. That may point to something happening in football. Or they used to enjoy a particular class, but suddenly they're not going. They're skipping class, or they're sick and they have to go to the nurse consistently when it's that one class. It could be as well that you have a child who's usually very effervescent, happy-go-lucky, and then you notice that temperament changing over time and the child becoming withdrawn. The opposite is also true. You could have a child who is usually very quiet and so on, and then you notice the child being very angry and easily triggered, and, you know, there's something there. So, there's so many different signs, but I think the best advice is to be as in tune as possible with your child. And when something seems a little bit off, you know, that gut feeling you get sometimes, don't ignore it. Always try to see if you can explore and, you know, pull them out in a gentle way. Not no rough, you know, tell me what's wrong with your boy. Not like that, because if there is something there that is so problematic that they're having suicidal thoughts, that's definitely not the way to go, because that may
kind of
alienate
intervention
the and push them away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Diane Gordon Harrison is the country's children's advocate. And just to remind you that if you need support, immediate support is available through SafeSpot. That's 888-723-3776. 888-723-3776. Or via WhatsApp at 876-439-5199. The CPFSA Child Protection Hotline is accessed at 211.
And then there is the mental health and suicide prevention helpline, and that is 888 New Life. Yes, that's 888 New Life. And the You Matter chat line is available at 876-838-4897. That's 876-838-4897.
Mrs. Gordon Harrison, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much for having me. Have a good evening. Thank you.
We're going to take the break, and after the break, it's Nature's Remedies, and it's about skincare. Tyrone, you have to pay attention, you know.
Every time you a link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Do it for your best life.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is...
It's 2 minutes after 7.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Good God have mercy, hey. Good God have mercy, hey. Lord have mercy,
Welcome to this week's edition of Nature's Remedies. It's the program to educate you about the use of natural herbs. And tonight we'll be talking about 5 herbs for itching, insect bites, rash, boils, and bruises.
I hear you're in the market for the itching ones, Ricardo. We'll also look at herbs for dry and oily skin. You should say touche.
I'm not going to say touche, but good shot. Good shot.
As usual, we'll be opening the lines so you can call in with any questions you might have for our resident farmer. What? Pharmacognosist.
You see, God not sleep, man. God not sleep.
Look at that's an interesting one there, Doc. Why did that one take me by surprise? I'm certain I've seen it before. Good evening to you, Dr. Daly. Looking, charming as always. Good to see you on our screen. How are things with you?
Good evening, Tyrone and Ricardo and listeners. It has been good. I'm feeling good.
Hi, Doc. You never miss me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I was saying you dashed me away, but
only a mother could miss him, Doc. No, encourage him.
No.
Do not encourage him. So let me get this right. It's a pharmacognosist. Is that it?
Yes, pharmacognosist.
Interesting.
So basically, I do research on medicinal plants specifically and do the bio-directed extraction. So I extract medicinal compounds and test their efficacy, identify what's in medicinal plants and their uses. So with that, you validate some of the traditional uses for herb.
So we're talking about 5 herbs tonight, and Ricardo is very interested in the first one for itching. Talk to us about those. So it's itching, insect bites, rash, boils, and bruises. So let's perhaps start with the herbs for itching.
All right, there are so many herbs for itching, right? But what I want us to do is focus on what are some of the herbs around us that we can quickly grab if we have a real bad itch or irritation. And one of those is the quaco bush. Do you know quaco in Kenya? Yes. So quaco bush is all across the island. It runs, it's on a vine, it runs. The leaves are quite distinct. You can look at them. It has a unique shape. Now with the quacker, you can just grab a few leaves or the vine, you crush it, and you can apply it to that itching area. You can also have a bath. When you combine the quacker with tamarind, the tamarind leaf, and the cerci. So again, you should be able to go in the bush and draw all three herbs. Rub them together in a bath pan of water or your bath. And you can use that to bathe the skin. And the itching will be no more. So draw for the quacker, tamarind, cerci. And you can also use those three individually.
I can hear people questioning in their minds about the bathtub.
The bath.
I can hear people questioning because people associate it with the working of a certain kind of science, not that one that's medical, right?
Well, back in the day, we usually catch some water and bathe in the bathroom just on a regular day.
Absolutely.
So regular.
And there's a skin ailment, Doc, that folks, I know you mentioned the tamarind leaf. What's that one called? It's not, it was used back in the day, man. I'm trying to remember what that one is for. A skin ailment that people used to have, and they use the tamarind leaf for it. Do you recall what that ailment is, Doc?
I don't know if it's chicken pox, I know. Measles?
Is it chicken pox or measles? It may be measles in it.
Yeah, so both.
Yes.
So it's used for both. So this three combination as well is used to ease all the itching, and it also helps with getting rid of any bumps and irritations on the skin as well. It helps with ringworm. So it's a powerful trio: quacker, tamarind, and cerci. Just get them, rub it together like you're washing in the water, and use that to bathe the skin. And can also apply it to the area of the skin that's irritated or with the itching.
So that should help you, Ricardo.
Anyhow, Doc, inflammation. Inflammation from insect bites. What do we do?
All right, so for insect bites, they're, again, once you're in the bush, you can do a similar thing with spiders, wasps, bees. You'd look at what are the three plants that are around the vicinity you got stung. And with those three, you grab three of the leaves, you crush them together, and you rub it on that area. Now, for different insects, you have some different herbs that have specific bites, but then that's a whole other story. But generally, you don't know what bit you. Get the three leaves, and you can rub it on that area. Another herb that's very good is the Cuban oregano or Spanish thyme. That's also good to rub on insect bites and insect, snakes, bites that you can get while you're in the field.
So it's just any bush that's near the wasp nest?
Wherever you were that you got the stung, look for the three bush around that area. No, don't pick courage.
Hold on.
You have to know that.
But hold on, Doc. So let me just work through this. So, what sting me? Me can just grab one soursop leaf, grab one, I don't know, vervine leaf, grab one hibiscus leaf.
Yes.
And it just gonna help me?
If you got stung within that vicinity. So it's good when you just crush it together. All the phytochemical compounds that are there will help to negate the redness and the swelling that will accompany. Some more powerful herbs though, if you have neem, definitely add a neem leaf to the mix or neem oil. You crush it and rub it onto the skin. Just continue to massage and massage. And it will prevent it from becoming swollen and red.
What may I try to understand, Doc? What is the vicinity?
Yes,
the vicinity.
Three bushes. This is what he's trying to do.
Yeah, because grab a tree bush, any bush.
Because normally, where they are normally feeding around that area. So some of the antidote, so to speak, will be provided by some of the plants that are around the area where the insect was located.
Oh, because they are interacting with it?
Yes, so the phytochemical profile of the plants. You don't know which specific one, and that's why the three comes in. So you definitely get a good blend to help negate the sting.
So I'm rolling the dice.
Yes. And usually it's more than one that they have some habitat or niche association with. So it usually helps to reduce the swelling and the redness from the stings.
Ah, okay. Interesting. All right. So
it is
rashes. I know Tyrone has a huge rash that he wants to clear up. What do we do there?
Oh,
what do we do there, Doc?
Okay, for rashes, we want to get a salve. A salve is a good ointment or balm, anything like that you want to use with some herb infusion. So let me explain how we can make it. Coconut oil, olive oil, and any other oil that you have, sweet almond, you would not boil, you heat on the stove with neem. If you have vervine, you can definitely put it in there as well. If you have comfrey, definitely add it to the mix. And once you see the oil changing colors, getting green, you know it's actually seeping the compounds in the plant. Then you can allow it, turn it off, strain, and add some beeswax. Once you have it, you can apply that to the skin, and it helps to soothe. Marigold plant is good to add to the mix as well, and dandelion plant help to soothe that rash. Just continue to apply it to the clean area at least twice a day until it heals.
Interesting. You know, I haven't heard Coach in a while, Dr. Daly. I haven't heard that one, but that one, if that catches you, you know,
yes, I tell you. Then you need other herbs for the itching.
So if you accidentally come in contact with Coach, are there bushes around that you can use to negate the effects of it?
Yeah, you usually try to get like Quaco or some of the anti-itch herbs to help rub on. But in the modern day, if you do not have those herbs, hydrocortisone helps as well if you don't have them conveniently or if you don't know them.
In terms of moisturizing and soothing dry skin is also one I think we're looking at. What can be used for that, Dr. Dean?
When it comes to moisturizing, so with dry skin, you want to ensure that you're removing the dead cells off the skin rather. So exfoliating is a good way to get rid of the dry, dead skins. And that will cause a lot of irritation as well. So aloe vera, I know it's a common plant. We have it right across. Almost every household have aloe vera. Getting the gel from the aloe vera naturally and applying it to the skin as a part of your routine really helps with dry skin. Also, even better, if you can create a wash with okra. So having okra and aloe vera together, even better in getting that moisture back into the skin, keeping it hydrated as well. And of course, you can make different products with it, lotions and creams with this combination. Comfrey is also good for that as well. If you make a nice face mask, crushing the plant, boiling it, and having it to wash the skin. So those are some of the herbs. Moringa is also good if it's a product that has moringa in it. There is a lot of the allantoin in moringa and in comfrey that we're seeing in a lot of cosmetic products nowadays. And these are natural in some of our plants that help to rejuvenate the skin, refresh the skin, and help with hydration.
All right.
And there was go ahead, Ricardo.
We're up on the break. So let's take the break and come back with more. We're talking skincare with our resident pharmacognosist, Dr. Denise Daly Tyrone, getting good help for the rash he needs to treat. We're going to take the break and come back with more.
Spirulina build up me confidence. Rastafari run the continent. This King Selassie I pay the consequence.
Jamaica's poverty rate has dropped from 16.7% to 8.2%. As the government's economic program begins to pay off, our country is heading towards sustained growth. We are building Jamaica. The time by the office of the Prime Minister is...
It's 16 minutes after 7.
Commercial spaces for you. Parks and attractions for you. Housing and residential developments for you. Beautiful rental properties for you. Improving quality of life through infrastructure development across Jamaica for you. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
UDC for you. From a single hopeful seed to your family's growing need. Yeah. Nothing is out of reach, no matter how small they seem. Access Financial will always support your dreams. 25 years, side by side. 25 years of joy and pride. 25 years is quite a ride at the heart of helping you thrive.
Access Financial Services, 25 years strong.
Order your skincare products today and experience the difference for yourself. Contact nasorejamaica@gmail.com and make your skin the best it can be with nature's remedies. Your skin deserves the best. Nazare, your skincare covered naturally. You can also contact wellness consultant Dr. Denise Daly by sending an email to drdenisedaily@gmail.com.
Good God have mercy, hey. Good God have mercy, hey. God have mercy.
You're tuned in to Nature's Remedies. It's the program aimed at educating you about the uses of natural herbs. As usual, we'll take your call, 630-937-124, 618-8255. Tonight we're talking about the herbs for itching, insect bites, rash, boils, and bruises.
And before we throw our next question to Dr. Daly, Sir Ricardo, just permit me to mention that someone in our chat was asking about an item of news about a bus overturning and that some students were injured. We can confirm, based on our checks with ACP Gary McKenzie of P-STEP, that there was an incident. There are no fatalities. He's not able to confirm how many were injured, but he says several students were injured and they're being treated. White Toyota Hiace 15-seater, 12 to 15 people on board. It developed mechanical issues, is what we're gathering so far, before it overturned. The driver and the students, we are being told, are injured. And of course, ACP says they're still trying to get all the facts together. But we can confirm that a bus has overturned. The initial reports was that it took place on the Gordontown Road, but we tried to give you the details in subsequent newscasts. So just wanted to put that out there, that a bus, in fact, it has been confirmed that it did overturn. All right? Back to you, Ricardo.
Yeah. Right. So I was going to ask Doc about children. Because, you know, from time to time they're playing outside, they get bitten by insects, or, you know, they could come in contact with things that could cause them to itch. Are there any herbs that can safely be used to soothe children?
Yes, the neem, aloe vera, leaf alive, those are common herbs that will be in the vicinity and are good to add to the kids' skin as well, if that happens.
Juliet Sanchez on our YouTube channel is known to give trouble. I put her in the naughty corner all the time, Doc. Yeah, but she's saying from the naughty corner that I should try the Coach tea. It's very good. Is there any truth to that?
Yes, courage and stinging nettle can be used to make tea, so they have the ability to itch, but they're also medicinal. So it all boils down to how you pick the plant. So, for example, you normally try to pick it with a scissors, allow it to quail, and then you can use it for skincare or teas.
Well, so Juliet, well, we can let her on the naughty corner then, Doc. She has given a good suggestion. Someone else is asking pardon me, about liver spots, Doc, and what are the bushes that are best to treat that?
For liver spot, neem oil. Get some neem oil. And liver spot goes deeper than just the surface of the skin. So you want to ensure that you have an antifungal herb. Drink it. Garlic tea, drink some neem tea, and always separate from medication, right? Because these are really strong, powerful herbs. So garlic, neem, comfort tea, but comfort tea, you only have it once every 2 days because it's very strong. So these help with liver spot externally. Apply the neem oil. You can dilute it in coconut oil or olive oil and apply it to the spots. Cocoa, as we mentioned earlier, is also good. Bathe in that cocoa blend. Then apply that to the skin overnight. Another thing that's very good is young ackee. So when you get the young ackee, you cut it in half. You can also apply it to the liver spot area. It's very good for rashes, including that.
Young ackee.
Antifungal.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And as someone else said, this is Marcia Favor, More Than a Conqueror on our YouTube channel again, Doc, asking, she's asking us to ask you, not certain if you've addressed this one already, it seems that way, but let me ask it anyway, about dark spots on the face and skin. What is good to get rid of? Discoloration is the question.
Discoloration. Turmeric is my number one for discoloration of the skin. So using a turmeric soap is very good. It depends on the formulation for the turmeric soap. So turmeric is good as a hyperpigmentation remedy and any darkening of the skin. So what you do, you can have turmeric with lime, apple cider vinegar if you're creating like your own paste, and coconut oil or olive oil, whichever base you want. You can apply that to the skin before you shower because it's going to be very yellow. And once you continue that routine, whether it's with the soap, scrub, that will help to get rid of the dark spots. What you can also add to the mix is moringa, because moringa also helps to rejuvenate the skin. So you get new cell growth and helps with healing whatever is happening in the different locations. Mm-hmm. If it's a dermatophyte or just swelling.
Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned moringa, Doc. I'm being asked to ask you whether you can boil it, the leaf.
Moringa leaf, definitely. You can boil it to make a tea. You can stew it like kalaloo, or you can have it fresh like a salad. So a lot of options with moringa.
And is the leaf just as potent?
The leaf is just as potent. It is very good. It is an everyday tonic that we should be having, especially how we have that plant everywhere. Should have it as our multivitamin per day.
Hey, these people in the chat are killing me, Doc. Yeah, they're killing me. Now, is a side effect of the Coach tea barking? I'm not sure if you saw that one.
Barking?
Somebody says from their young, they heard that if you want dog bad, you boil Coach tea, get them.
Oh.
So he said, Tyrone, mind you drink that tea and start barking. So I want to know.
I thought that was the ganja. I thought that was the ganja tea. Was it the ganja tea that made the dog bad?
Well, I don't know for humans barking and doing that, but ganja tea definitely give us heightened awareness, or some will sleep and so forth. But
all right.
Now, unconfirmed reports are that Ricardo has a big boil on his back. So, which herbs are best for drawing?
You're not stop.
Treating boils. Which one? Not for that.
The boils, you have to ensure. Okay, activated charcoal is a good way to get rid of oils, right? So you have a tea bag. Whichever tea bag you have, I prefer to use neem and comfrey. You get those, a tea infusion, and you basically I wouldn't want to say massage, but you put it like you bathe in the boil, add a little salt to the water, and you want to moisten that area. And in terms of a plaster, you'd crush up the neem tree, not the tree, the leaves and the oil, you apply that to it. There's also fig, if it's available. Fig is very good at getting rid of boils. You crush it up, add it, and then you wrap it with a gauze or poultice and so forth. So that's good to get rid of, or to help with boils over time. You'd have to do it every day, twice a day, until it goes down, because you want to get rid of all the liquid, the fluid that's built up in the skin.
When I was growing up, Doc, they always talk about drawing. So, like, if there's a blister, they say, what you can put on it. I think it was it kerosene oil? I think it was kerosene oil.
Yes, you quail.
Right.
Yes, you quail some of the leaf and you add kerosene oil. Kerosene oil is good.
Right. So what else can we use to draw, as it were, infections and that kind of thing from the skin?
Crush young banana, young green banana. You have it right? Yeah. So you crush it. You apply it to the boil as well, or the infection, to pull out anything that's within. And sometimes you can add a kerosene oil, breadfruit leaf, and you wrap it, and it helps to pull out infections.
I heard this one when I was younger, Doc, and someone has said it in the chat, so I'm going to put it to you, that, Ricardo, this one is for you. If you eat too much eggs, you get boiled, says Start Girl. So cut down on the eggs, Ricardo, the boiled eggs. But is that true, Doc? I've heard that from I was a teenager, and I used to have a lot of boiled eggs in the mornings. Is that true? Is there any connection to that boiled eggs cause boils?
Boils? You know, I do not see any, but I can go and look it up. I know you can have allergic reaction, so to speak, if you eat too many eggs. And then for men, too many eggs can be bad as well, interfere with hormone balance, sperm count, etc. But that's a lot you'll be having.
Really? It can hold on there, Doc, man. You're getting serious now, man. Eggs can affect your sperm count?
Too many. And I would have to look back at the number to give you a count. But you don't want to have 5-6 eggs per day, every day for the entire week. Because you'll have that avidin biotin complex. It forms a complex. It interacts with other things.
Wait, Doc, you said 5 for the week?
No, for the day.
Oh, for a day.
Some persons make a large, big egg omelette or so on, and every day they're having that. So you have to just be temperate, balance. So many.
Ricardo.
You're running 5 per week. Yo, what?
No, man, 5 per week. Good. That's balance.
In 2 days, you're not count 5 already, right? Ricardo, in 2 days. So you're in trouble. Yeah?
No.
You're in trouble. And the birth rate is going down in a duck. So we have to be careful.
Strong swimmers are necessary.
Yes, loosen some of the pants so the scrotum can hang. And they can be at a lower temperature.
That's definitely scientific. The tight pants thing, it's scientific.
Yes.
All right. See there, we know what the problem is.
That is it.
Yeah, man, these guys, man, too much tight pants around here, man. So looser pants, says Dr. Dennis Daly. It's scientifically proven for the future of the population. I think it was Leroy Roth, he was asking, Doc, says, ask the goodly Doc, what's the safest remedy for enhancing one's libido? We've touched on what you shouldn't do. He says, what can be done to enhance libido, to bring it back to the youthful days, he's asking. Are any of these bushes that you're talking about good for that?
So far, moringa is everyday vitamin. So if you're lacking a certain vitamin or mineral, you can have issues with libido. If you don't know which one, drink some moringa tea. Herbs that I would recommend you put together and make a decoction, make a boil is as a tea: cheney root, sarsaparilla, and medina. If you get medina, that's good. Donkey weed. There's so many herbs that we can add to the list. Boil them with coconut. What's it called? The shell portion of the coconut. Boil them together and have that as a tea. It helps with libido. It helps with everything in terms of reproductive health. Those herbs can be very effective.
So it's not just libido, it also aids the sperm count as well.
Sperm count, sperm quality, sperm motility. So there are quite a few herbs that you can go through an entire list. Raw moon, blood whisk. There's a lot. So you can send me an email if you want specifics in creating a blend. But cheney root, sarsaparilla, blood whisk, raw moon, all strength or 4 months strength.
Doc, tell Tyrone your email address now, so he can email you for that.
These bushes,
for
where
that
we get
assistance.
these names from, Doc?
The name tells how good the herb is. So 4 months strength. When you drink that bush, you have 4 months strength. Same like almond strength and donkey weed. Again, when the donkey drink it, very erect, very libido-fied, if that's the word. They're ready to go. But yes, the donkey usually reacts and ready when they have the donkey weed. So that's the name for that one. But do send me an email, drdenisedaly@gmail.com. It's DRDENISEDALEY@gmail.com.
Did you get that, Tyrone?
Glory, Ricardo. I don't need it to know.
Doc, what about if you have acne-prone skin? Yeah, you know, you have acne a lot, breakouts. Any herbs that you recommend?
Yes, for acne, you want to look at your routine. So having a face wash, witch hazel, you can make one with I'm trying to remember the name of the rosemary. Rosemary can be a part of the blend. Turmeric, you cannot get rid of turmeric when it comes to internal and external uses for turmeric. And activated charcoal. With that, you can just create a mask or use it as a soap that has it. And Nazare, Jamaica, we have a lot of these soaps. So creating that routine to help with the skin recovery. Yes.
Interesting stuff, Doc. Ricardo, that's it for you?
Yep, that's it from me. In terms of allergies, are there any particular herbs that you'd want people to stay away from, be careful of when they're using for skincare?
For skincare allergies, it depends because people have different allergic reactions. So it's always good to safeguard if it's the first time you're using a particular herb on your skin. Similar to skincare products, you do a test area to see if there's any irritation, redness, etc. I'd mentioned comfrey as one of the herbs that's very good for the skin. It's called nick bones, meaning if you have a sprain, broken bone, you can create a poultice and add it to your skin. Comfrey is very potent. So you wouldn't use comfrey every day internally. And if you have it external on your skin, you have to safeguard what medications you're taking because it does have some alkaloids that can be toxic to the liver. So that you'd have to safeguard. If you have allergy and you want to ease the allergy, guinea hen weed is a good herb to have.
Guinea hen, yes. Heard of that one?
Yes. Guinea hen weed. Anti-cancer, anti-allergy, you name it. One of the powerful herbs. Petit Vera.
And what's the turnaround time, Doc, in terms of seeing results when using these herbal remedies for the skin or any of the other complaints that we've discussed here this evening?
That's the thing. Herbs are slow and steady. So it rejuvenates, revitalizes, and renews. However, when we take the herb, it will take some time. For example, if you have a headache and or a stomach ache, you're going to drink some ginger tea. You may feel a relief within an hour, and then you continue drinking it, etc. If it's over time, within 2 weeks, on average, you start seeing changes. You start feeling changes after a week. So it works much slower than over-the-counter drugs, but it is safe and effective, especially when we're being consistent with our natural herbal remedies.
And no barking is not a side effect, right? And no barking is not a side effect.
No. Okay.
All right, Ricardo, over to you. Are we finished with Doc, or do we have more for her?
No, that's all the questions I have, Doc. Anything else you want to add?
Yes.
No, that is it. It's just reminding everyone to make sure each day you have some herbal tea. And that will help with your wellness.
All right. There you have it.
Interesting.
Dr. Denise Daly, our resident pharmacognosist. Thank you as always, Doc.
Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Doc. Have a good evening.
Thank you and take care.
So, there you go, Tyrone. You can sort out the rash. Yeah? We're going to take your calls after the break. Nobody come back, man. Let's tell them, man. Come back, man. Let's tell them, man.
Hold on, man. I'm talking to you about the eggs. No. Seriously.
All right. What is it?
I did not know that eggs could be that problematic. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I never heard that either.
You learn something, every day. It's good, especially if you can learn something every day.
Haven't they said that eggs are a good source of protein? Isn't that what we were told?
Yes, and then there are lots of people, especially people who are into, healthy eating and bodybuilding and whatnot. People, they consume lots of eggs, but here you go. If you eat more than 5, which is a lot, by the way, per day, you are destined for trouble. It's a fascinating discovery. I didn't know that at all.
Well, let me tell you, Tyrone. Bugs looks worried. Bugs looks worried across the glass. He must sweat. So I don't know what that means, but he look worried.
Look, I can say for my brethren, Bugs, he's already contributed to Jamaica's population.
It still look worried. Maybe he had future plans.
I say no more. Yeah, Bugs, you already do your civic duty. Yes. I say, Ricardo.
We're going to take We're going to take the break. 630-937124 618-8255. What's on your mind? Come talk to us.
Escape to Idlewild Island, a grill where sand and serenity meet. Visit idlewild.com or call 876-957-3302. Idlewild and stay a while.
School is back in session, so let's see if your quiz competition ready. In a right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Who gave us that theorem? That's right, Pythagoras. Which city is home to the United Nations headquarters? That's New York City. And here's another one. Which country invented the Olympic Games over 2,700 years ago? If you said Greece, that's correct. The answer is Greece. If you got them right, you're sharp enough to follow the battle of the year. From September 22 to 26, Jamaica's best journalists face off in the nationwide quiz competition. Live from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. 5 days, 5 rounds. One winner will be crowned Quiz Champion of the Year. The nationwide quiz competition. Knowledge has no borders and class is always in session. The NNN Back to School Quiz is brought to you by NewPack. More than just value. Wellington Dental. Dental care at its best. Best dressed chicken Vienna sausage. Only the best. Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited. For your best journey. Kendall Foods. The taste of quality. And Mark Superstore. Quick and fast delivery.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Taboo topics. Voyagings after dusk.
Riveting discussions.
Celebrity news and interviews.
Topics that are shunned by society.
And everything else in between.
Voyagings After Dark with Kareem Voyagings each and every Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m.
Voyagings After Dark.
No topic is too taboo or hard to discuss.
Come get your mind blown and your curiosity explored. Voyagings After Dark.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
The E-Zone is here for you.
With this thing, Honey Bee.
And Kareem Voyagings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. Why you say?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brain busters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezone blinddates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblinddates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions.
Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
Alric, good evening. You're up first.
Oh, I'm guy Tyrone Wagwan, man.
Alric?
Yeah, I'm asking Wagwan Tyrone.
Oh, we're trying to go back in hello.
I'm not talking to you. I'm Ricardo.
Me there.
Yeah, very interesting conversation there, but why would not have to pick one book? So I'm to Ricardo Tyrone.
Ask him. I don't want him to say I'm bullying him.
One to me.
But he hasn't done his civic duty yet.
Why you have to pick one book, Ricardo?
Me nah pick one books eat only by eggs. So books is concerned when him hear what Doc say. Me advocate for books.
Already not worry. What about you?
You bully me, Alric. You bully me. You never hear what the children's advocates say about bullying.
All right, bro.
Oh boy, listen to me, man. I know his lovely grandmother is praying for him, man, to get himself a lovely wife and start a family. I know she's praying. I may the Lord hear her prayers.
Then Tyrone, you can't also drop a prayer in, man. If I drop a prayer in, you are the Reverend Tyrone, you know.
Apparently, I'm going to have to go for some fasting for him. So something's going not out in except by fasting and prayer.
We need to play the video when Tyrone did a preach. We need to find it and play it.
Please.
Yeah. We need to find it. But yeah, Alric, you were saying something about politics.
Yes, I'm kind of leaving the Jamaican politics aside for now. Between you and Tyrone, this guy Kirk in America, who was he? That his death is causing so much stir. I've never heard of him before he died.
He was a conservative influencer. They're describing him. He traveled around, had debates on university campuses and other places with people who didn't support the conservative view. Some say he was racist in some of his remarks. I've heard some of them, and quite frankly, I'm concerned about some of what he had to say. But one thing's for certain, though, he believed in debate and dialoguing respectfully. I think you'll have to give that to him, Ricardo.
Yeah, and Alric, he was one of the early adopters of the MAGA movement. So he brought a lot of young people into that movement, and he has fused Christian ideology with white nationalism. So he has fused the two, and so he became broadly attractive, as Tyrone said, to influencers, especially young people. So he would go on campuses and he'd have conversations around the culture wars, so abortion, transgender issues, sodomy, that kind of a thing. And so he quickly shot to stardom in the MAGA movement, and he formed a group called, I think it's called Turning Point USA.
Yes, I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, so he was a darling of the conservative movement.
So and there people were asking him about potentially running for the presidency or running for office, or sometime in the future. There are people. He was a big a big deal in the conservative Republican MAGA movement. He was a big deal, and he certainly did not deserve to be shot down and killed like that. I've heard him offer remarks on Martin Luther King that are very uncharitable. Ricardo, I'm not certain if you've heard those, but he had uncharitable views. If that video I heard is actually authentic, didn't seem to be a big fan of Martin Luther King Jr. at all.
Right, general hostility to what I would call racial issues. He had questionable views on race. I put it.
That's what I would say too. Yeah. Some of it would cause you to be some people to be very uncomfortable. I can see people saying, "Wow, that sounds racist," based on some of the remarks he has made. For example, he believes the DEI. Diversity, equity, inclusion, I think is what it stands for, that he believes because of that, if he ever sees a black pilot, he starts to wonder, I wonder if this person is qualified to fly this plane. I don't know if ever says that about a white person, because it's as if to say white people don't get through with things because of their connections, right? So do you ever look at a white person and wonder that? So things like that would cause people to say, I wonder if this guy has, racist views. But certainly, he not deserve to be gunned down like he was. Absolutely not the answer. Yeah, and he was someone who was open to dialogue and to debate. Interestingly, Van Jones, who is known to be a Democratic spokesperson, Ricardo, not certain if you saw this, but he said in the days leading up to his death, Kirk actually reached out to him and said that he would love to sit down, dialogue with him. And he's saying, look, this is the kind of person that he was. So all of this negativity and the divide, he's saying, even though they did not agree, was that someone who was willing to reach across and say, let us sit down and have dialogue. And I think that is a big deal. And we need more of that, yeah? We don't have to always agree with Charlie Kirk and his views, yeah? But we at least need to be able to respectfully dialogue and disagree with some amount of decency.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for enlightening me, because I didn't know anything about him, and I said I have to come to you guys to ask. Have a good night. Keep up the good work, and Tyrone, continue on your bang, man.
All right.
Likewise, man.
630-9371-2461-88255. Richard, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Master Chuck.
Yeah, first time on the program. Do you
Welcome.
know that Reading Road that leads to Montego Bay from Anchovy?
No, I'm not.
Anchovy.
I'm not familiar.
And it goes to Montego Bay. Do you know that road?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
That is the most dangerous road in Jamaica, bar none. It is a catastrophe waiting to happen. The retaining walls that have been on that road have broken away. When you look, I don't know how many feet gully drop there is. And so the vehicles going towards Montego Bay, there is nothing preventing vehicles from going over that gully. It is a every morning or every evening when I wake up, I am listening to hear how many vehicles go over that gully. No, I don't want to hear you guys calling Stephen Shaw to say this is bigger than Stephen Shaw. The Prime Minister have to address it. The last time I drove on that road, I was going towards Montego Bay, a bus similar to like the Knutsford. It wasn't the Knutsford, but it was a vehicle. I don't know how that vehicle never hit me and sent me over that gully. It is, you guys need to take a visit, and it's a national disgrace and a catastrophe.
You took a recording of what's happening out there. Have you ever recorded, took pictures or anything like that that you could share with us?
I don't live there anymore. I live in Kingston, but I know that road very well. So I'm saying
When was the last time you've been out there?
No, man, recently, but I decided that if persons give me $1 billion, I'm not driving on that road again.
Okay, you're not going back there again?
No, it is a...
Tell us the location again. Tell us... we hear you on it, that it's dangerous. Give us the location again so that we can...
When you clear Anchovy to go towards Montego Bay, it's the Long Hill Main Road.
Mm-hmm. The Long Hill Main Road.
It's the gully, I don't know how many feet. If you go up a village above it, content, and you look, I think that gully maybe, I remember years ago, I was in Montego Bay. I decided I was to go back to Westmoreland. And I decided, no, the rain, I stayed at a friend's home where I don't normally stay at people's house. And I heard that a lady had washed away over the gully. She died. The water washed her away. It is a disgrace. So I don't want to hear about Stephen Shaw coming. This is bigger than Stephen Shaw. Stephen Shaw is
no, man. Whoever has the authority to deal with the road, whoever has listen, no, sir, that's not how this works. If the road falls under the purview of the National Works Agency, you can't say you don't want to hear from
the minister. I don't want to hear.
No, that's not that. That's what it doesn't. Even if you want it that way, no, sir, that's not the way things work. Who has responsibility for the road? That is what we need to look at. And you demanding that the Prime Minister look at the road. I mean, what is that about?
I'm saying the Minister of Works.
What is that about? No, who has responsibility for the road? That's what we need to find out.
I am saying, could you get the Minister of Works and Robert Morgan on the program? That's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear Steve.
Yes, and we need to find out, right. We need to find out who has responsibility for the road, and then we can take it.
It is a I'm saying they are building.
Yeah, Richard. Tyrone is not Tyrone is not disagreeing with you.
I'm angry about it because
yeah, man.
And when things happen, we pray for the families who get hurt or something. You cannot send a reporter there if you think I'm telling lies.
Richard, Tyrone has not said you're lying, and he has not said that it is not serious.
Send a nationwide reporter to
Richard, if you're not going to listen, then we can have a conversation. What Tyrone is saying to you is that there are authorities in this country with responsibilities. Now, the NWA would be the first point of call.
Yes, but there are so many roads I'm here in NWA, come on, this will be sorted out, and nothing is done. I'm saying this is a national disaster. Send a reporter there if you think I'm lying. It's the gully is, I don't know how many 1,000 feet that gully is. Anybody jump over there, them done. You can't even get a crane to take them out.
All right, here you, Richard. Thanks for the call.
We're going to see if we can follow up on it for you to see who has a responsibility for that road. All right. Who's up next, Ricardo?
Ian.
Hi, good night, gentlemen. Tyrone, good to hear you tonight, Ricardo.
Thank you, likewise, Marcia.
Yes, I called because I was having a conversation with a teacher today, and she was saying that she don't know if it's because of the rural school bus or what, but the numbers have increased in terms of students coming to school. And I would love to see a survey being done to see how it has impacted the increase of students coming to school. That's one. I hear the government talk about the whole matter of the peace initiative and with the aligning with the Ministry of National Security. Now, when I think about it, I think we should consider as a nation, and I ask the Prime Minister or the Minister of Transport to consider having free transportation for children. And one of the reasons for that is when you think about it, it should really be a free access to students, really, being able to go to school. Nothing should hinder them. In other words, it shouldn't be, Mommy, when you come and say, boy, I'm on a bus here, you can't go to school today. You understand? It should be a case where the state is able to provide transportation for our school children right through.
So we should keep the no fares running. Is what you're saying?
Yes, for the students.
For the school buses.
Increase educational tax to another 1%.
I would support that. I would support that, Ian.
Yeah,
if we can keep it going, I would definitely support it.
And I've seen, I saw a young lady live all the way in Clarendon, Colonel Charles Jr. constituency. I don't know if you know the familiar with that constituency, but it's deep rural, and that young lady comes to Olaba about. So where she lives, it takes probably an hour from where she lives, or 45 minutes just to get to Olaba town, and she usually gets into the town by about 4:40, and the cost to transport to come to the town is roughly about $350. And she's going all the way up to the university. So, and with the bus that they have now that takes the students from Old Harbour to Papine, which is a very good initiative, I would want to see this government continue to roll it out. I feel so good for the students in the morning. And they appreciate it because they have extra money to make up and buy lunchtime, you know? So I don't know if Tyrone, you can use the influence on your powers.
I definitely can see it resulting in what you've outlined in terms of an increase in the number of students who are turning out to school. And, you know, if we're going to solve the maladies that are affecting our education system, one of those things being having the children in school, you know, it's one of the issues that we need to tackle, and definitely I would support that. If we can find the money to do it without right now, without affecting, you know, our budget, certainly would support it, sir. Certainly would support it.
Look at increase in the educational tax. It has not been increased in a very long time. So
I don't know if the government, of no new taxes will want to increase taxes. We're out of time, Ian. We're out of time.
Let's hope we can grow the economy, right?
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call, Ian. Tyrone, Robert on Twitter is saying, well, he says that guy is an alarmist. He says the Long Hill bypass is in full effect. Yes, that road has been like that from day one. It's not any different now than 60 years ago. So he seems to be suggesting that there's a bypass.
Yeah, but are we going to fix it though? It's been that way for 60 years. I really don't know why he was approaching the matter the way he did. But certainly, we if it's been that way for 60 years, we can fix it now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I don't think he was listening to the point you were making, but
because I think it just seems like he wants to drag the Prime Minister into it, whether or not the Prime Minister is involved, you know, with that particular road.
Yeah,
I guess he's the Prime Minister, so the buck eventually stops with him, I would suppose. But no, I'm not so certain he was going about it the right way.
Yeah. All right, that's all the time we have. Thank you to our producer, Dana Davey, Andrew Glenn Anderson Boogs, the man behind the controls, or callers, contributors, and you, our valued listeners. Big up to the YouTube Massive. Thank you for keeping us company. Thank you to my colleagues in the newsroom. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Tyrone Reid.
Good evening.
Good evening.